It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Happy Sunday. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We're here at the patio, so if you're here at Milberger's and have a question, come on up to the patio. We'll do our best to get your questions answered.
Calvin is answering a question right now.
Yes.
Otherwise, let me just go in. Well, I first want to invite everyone who's had rain to give us a call. We'd like to know about rain reports. I hardly had any.
I didn't even realize it rained last night, but I woke up to just the whole area just completely wet, kind of like here at Milberger's.
Yeah,
looks like Milberger's got a good amount.
Well, we had a couple of puddles in our backyard, but not a lot of rain. So hopefully the weather report, the weather app says this afternoon at 12 right now and beyond until about 6. So hopefully we'll get some more rain.
Yes, and hopefully a good amount.
And then, teacher, I completed my science assignment.
Your assignment?
Yeah, yesterday I was told to check on all the lantanas.
Yes.
We have 4 rows of lantanas, and we have the trailing lantana, the purple and white, and we have new gold lantana. And then we have Dallas Red. Let me read them all. We have Dallas Red. We have one called Really Red.
Really Red?
Yeah, that's kind of obvious. One called Candy Corn.
Interesting.
One called Carlos. I don't know why it's called Carlos, but it's red. It has nice red and orange flowers. And one called Sunset. So you can gather what that one's all about.
I can gather what the candy corn one might look like too.
Yeah.
But
So we have lots of lantanas, and
I'm gonna go look at it.
And lantanas are great.
Yes.
For those really full sun, hot locations, like the side between the sidewalk and the curb. Various names for that. I learned it as the Parkway or the right-of-way. Down here in San Antonio, I learned it as the Hell Strip for various reasons. But it's a great place to put really drought-tolerant, hot-loving plants like lantana, like red yucca, which we have, like Exexmania, which we have here. That's a yellow flower, native yellow flower. And other ground covers what's another one? Oh, silver ponyfoot. Can you see the silver ponyfoot over there? Or they were over there. I don't know where. They moved them again, I guess. But anyway, that's great stuff for the front. Program. I developed a program when I was at SAWS. It's like 10 plants that enjoy the front heat.
Front heat.
And so plants that love drought and hot. Those are just some of the ones that I mentioned that are available here at Milberger's.
Yeah. And hopefully we don't stay. Hopefully the drought doesn't stay too long. And hopefully
the drought.
The drought. I mean. I'm hoping for some more rain.
Where have you been the last 6 years?
I've been here.
You've been here.
I've been constantly
It's
rain
been a
and
drought ever since. We're heading into the 7th year of a drought. We may break the 50s. Who knows?
Oh, boy.
think it's been a little less or a little bit more mild. I mean, we've had a little bit more rain than the 50s, but we still officially are in drought according to the meteorological definition.
Well, as we're waiting for the rain, I know rain's beneficial, but could too much rain too fast be detrimental to people's yards? And
Absolutely. We're known as Flood Alley for a reason, Flash Flood Alley. So we have small amounts of soil sitting on top of impervious rock. We have been decreased impervious layers like roads and parking lots. We've actually increased them. So we've increased the possibility of flash floods. And anytime we have sudden concentrated rainfall, which is prevalent around here when we're so close to the Gulf, and then fronts come through and meet the Gulf, warm weather, that lots of times we have large rainstorms. So it's better to have what we had last night. You didn't even know it rained.
I didn't.
And it rained a little bit, but it's better to have a whole day of soft rain. I don't know if Millburgers would like it, but from a community standpoint, a whole day of rain would be very beneficial. We seem to have lost Calvin.
Yes, I think Calvin went out to the customer's car because they weren't able to bring the plant up.
Right.
But give us a call, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
We can talk about him then.
Talk about what?
We could disparage Calvin.
I mean, we could, but he could also hear us over the speakers.
Oh, yeah, he
throughout
can hear
the store.
us. Okay. Well, there's lots of people here at Millburgers.
Yes, lots of customers, lots of staff, too, today. There's a surplus of staff.
Yeah, lots of sales, too.
Oh,
and
yes.
lots of plants to choose from.
Yes, there is.
So if you come by, we have lots of color, lots of perennials. As I mentioned yesterday, they had 2 truckloads of perennials come in and place a lot of stuff here. Most of the perennials are located underneath the cedar elm by the porch, and so you come on by and pick them up, check them out. There's a wide variety of selection. I always try to encourage people to get, if you're new to San Antonio or new to gardening and you want butterflies, you get Greg's Blue Mistflower or Blue Greg's Mistflower. And the Zexmania I talked about earlier, and sages. We have a whole bunch of sages over here, and they're real easy to grow. They're pretty durable, and they don't need a whole lot of care. And butterflies are attracted to them, particularly that mistflower. They really love it. In fact, we have certain slang names for it, which will not be mentioned on the radio.
Fair enough. Smart.
You appreciate that?
Very, very much.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very attracted to it, almost addicted to it. What else? What else should we talk about?
I guess we could stay on
while Calvin's away.
Yeah, I guess we could stay on the rain. I guess what can people do to help ensure they get the most out of the little rain?
That's a great question. So a lot of times we promote the application of compost or organic matter in the broad definition at early in spring and then in the late fall. And compost can be placed on both the lawns and in beds. So it's kind of nice to have that. What compost does is increases the infiltration rate. So the rainwater can get into the ground easier. And then it increases the percolation rate. So once the water is in the ground, it moves through the soil better. And then it also, third thing it does is it has the soil hold more water, increases the water holding capacity of the soil. So compost is really great in helping to increase the availability of soil, of water in the soil, and when it rains. So that's one thing people can do. On a different note, a lot of people are looking at rain barrels and things like that. Those are great things too. At one time we had some. I haven't asked if we still have rain barrels here at Millburgers, but one time we did. And those are really good for real simple applications, like if you put it underneath the gutters or have a drainage into one of them. They can be used for the vegetable bed or containers. They're not going to hold a lot of water. You need a tremendously large container for that, 15 to 20,000 gallons. Takes up most of the yard. Mm-hmm. But these smaller rain barrels, they do a fantastic job in watering your plants. They have a neutral pH, and that's real important for a lot of plants. Our water, our wonderful Saws water,
very wonderful,
has a high pH, i.e., it's alkaline. By the way, folks, don't spend your money on that alkaline water. We have it right from the tap, so just use it then. But on the other hand, it is alkaline, so some plants prefer neutral. Rainwater is neutral or slightly acidic. So it's very good for plants that prefer that, or even those plants that we have to make special conditions for the soil, like azaleas or gardenias or hydrangeas. Rainwater is excellent at that. So if you have a rain barrel, that's perfect for that when it rains.
It does not feel like it's as much as going to rain now as it was before.
Oh, no. Isn't that kind of a wind, kind of maybe a front blowing in, or no?
Be, yeah. Well, that was an experience.
Tell us all about it.
Well, she has a plant that is not prospering, and in fact, she brought it in her car. And it's a indoor plant.
Oh,
and it has been diagnosed by some folks. I don't know if they're here or where, but that it was either too dry or too wet.
And it was down.
It was certainly soggy right now. But it looked to me like it had a potting soil, really loose organic material, so it was draining. But it looked to me like it hadn't had any nutrients for a long time. So we ended up getting some Osmocote.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always good.
Yeah, and then Osmocote is easy to use and will meet the needs. And then I also suggested that she has a watering schedule every week, whether she needs it or not, I think. I suggested she tried to
use her finger.
Yeah, her finger, even 2 inches deep, because that soil mix was very loose. Mm-hmm. And then just water. Now, I suspect that she's gotten used to that pattern, and it's hard for her to switch. But that can be an issue. It's probably not a good idea in most cases, just to water every so often, even if you're not reacting to the soil situation. And so that's hopefully she'll try to only water when it dries, and then also use some Osmocote in there and have it respond. The plant looks like it would. A lot of those indoor plants are look like they'll react pretty quickly to changes in situations. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case.
I usually have the opposite problem. I forget. And that's usually a benefit. That sometimes if you forget to water, that's usually a benefit for the plant.
That's right. For because a lot of plants will let you know when they need watering. But this one was definitely pretty soggy.
You want to take a guess, a stab at what it was?
Yeah, no, it had was an airy kind of thing with sharp, long leaves.
Okay.
And
but it wasn't mother's long tongue. It was something else.
Yeah, it looked.
Do you think it was a Dracaena? One of the Dracaenas?
I'm not familiar enough with indoor plants to.
Yeah, I know. That's why I prefaced it by saying, "Would you like to take a stab at it?"
And the whole time I was looking for one of our wonderful staff people at Milberger's, because they are certainly better than I am at indoor plant identification. But I didn't run into anybody. But hopefully, a lot of times if you react to that watering situation in that same way, and a potent but easy to use fertilizer like Osmocote will work pretty well. And then when you look at the plant, it looked like it was pretty depleted in terms of, reminded me of the citrus, when they're in a container.
Yeah.
When they start that growth spurt, folks say, well, should we be fertilizing, or maybe they fertilized last week and the nutrients haven't been digested yet.
Kind of a off green, yellowish color. Severe cases, a little splotchy.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if I had run into somebody that could have identified it, because I didn't recognize the plant. And but she was pretty patient in terms of describing the symptoms and everything. So anyhow, we gave it a go. So what has happened since? No rain yet.
No rain. We were talking about rain and how to increase the efficiency of the rain if we get it. And I was talking about compost, and that's really one of the best methods of increasing the efficiency of the rainfall by increasing infiltration, percolation, and water holding capacity. We talk about, Mark, you and I talk a lot about these big predictions of rain coming, and then it ends up to be 0.2 of an inch. Or you mean like last night?
But it has been enough rain, at least in my neighborhood, to have a wonderful crop of rain lilies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, gosh, they're beautiful.
Already? Okay.
Oh, God, yeah.
I usually think of it maybe 3 days later.
And then I was looking at it must have been from the rain a week ago or so. And then I also was looking out over the patio this morning, and suddenly, instead of all that bare ground that I've been used to, there was weeds coming up everywhere. I thought, I better go see if my string mower will start.
Or as I like to call it, a lovely green filler in between the bare spaces.
Yeah, but suppose we'll get any. I hope we don't get any calls on what should I do with these darn weeds that have that white flower, green lilies.
Well, we've had a few phone calls on that weed in the lawn, in the sustainable lawn with the yellow flowers.
Yeah, horseherb.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's it.
And then
and then several people have called in how to kill it. And I'm like, oh, I really like it.
Yeah, and then and it's the thing about horseherb too is. it's no easy way. It's not an easy way to kill it. That would be because it not only reseeds, but it has roots that will survive too. It's a perennial. Mm. Yeah, it is it's an interesting plant.
Very interesting.
The butterflies love it. Deer like it.
All right. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Well, I see the sun trying to peek out here, so hopefully if we keep talking about the rain, maybe it'll show up.
Well, did we talk about fertilizing the lawn?
No, let's do that.
With this rain that we've had, and our good imaginations, I guess, some places, but a lot of lawns have responded, and and it doesn't take long with this kind of weather and the rain for the lawn grass to respond. And if you've mowed it twice, that's generally when we say, well, okay, go ahead and fertilize. And this is the typical time that this is middle of April, and May 1 is quite often the date that we say that usually occurs. And so if you've mowed your lawn real grass twice, then go ahead and fertilize. And I understand the 1959, which is my favorite slow-release lawn fertilizer. Not only is it my favorite for the lawn, it's my favorite for flowers and vegetables and everything, but it is on sale even, isn't it?
That's correct. The Millburgers Premium Lawn and Garden Fertilizer, the 1959, 50% slow-release nitrogen with 4% iron and 12% sulfur. It's a 40-pound bag, covers 7,600 square feet, only $49.99.
And so go ahead and fertilize, follow the label instructions, and that you get 50% of that nitrogen will be released quickly, and the lawn will be able to utilize it. And then the other 50% will be released over 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And depending on the weather, the lawn should do pretty well with that. And then you'll a lot of time we recommend that you wait and fertilize again in the fall. So 1959 fertilizer, it's a good time to water to fertilize the lawn right now.
And any you don't use, it's good to store and hold on until the next time.
Yeah, and it also is good for your flowers. And don't use it in containers. Use one of those. There's
asthma coats that we talked about just beforehand.
And then there's some other selection too. What is the one that we dissolve in the water?
Well, it used to be Peters, but I think now it's Miracle Grow.
Miracle Grow.
Yeah.
That works well, too. It's just a little more work than Osmocote, for sure.
You are of a certain age when you say Peters. That used to be the standard 30 years ago.
Well, it's just amazing you can remember it.
Well, it's easier for me. I can remember that because I have a little helpful device there. But then I forget what Miracle Grow is. I forget that word. But by the way, it does store easy, but I wouldn't be storing it outside.
Oh no,
okay, gotcha.
No, it's inside a cool, dry place.
And it might actually rain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I only washed part of my car yesterday, so maybe that's the reason why we only got a little bit of rain.
So that's one of the big issues right now, and so we're finally seeing a response from lawns to the moisture and this mild weather. This is relatively mild weather. So take advantage of that and go ahead and fertilize the lawn.
And if it's
another thing, if I want to encourage folks if they have seen. We should be seeing the monarchs coming through. We saw some a couple weeks ago, but we haven't seen any the last couple days. There, so
well, maybe it's the rain. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I saw last week. I saw one.
Yeah, and I had seen a couple 2 weeks ago. And if they'll need for sure, they're migrating from the south, from the wintering grounds in Mexico, and they channel through central Texas here, and then they head to the Midwest and even into Canada. But what they need in our area is at least some of those nectar-producing plants. And I say that with confidence because I'm looking at all these lantanas that blooming up a storm, and our mist flower.
The mist flower is an excellent one.
Yeah. Now we expect that we got some of the smaller zinnias available, but we expect the Dreamland next week.
Right. We have the Profusion. They're the shorter ones. Got about a quarter of a table available with those multiple colors. But the Dreamland is the nice ones.
Pentas are on the verge of blooming too, so they're a good source.
They are, and they're on sale this week.
Are they?
Pentas
They
are?
are. Pentas are on sale.
Oh wow!
And
Yeah, the plants look good.
yes,
What are their sale items? Are they like?
4-inch pot. They're regularly $199, but you can get 5 for $9.50.
Okay. Gosh.
That's good. Good
And
deal.
these are, if you have never grown pentas, you ought to try them. We talk about them being a shade-loving plant, but they're kind of quirky. They do their best blooming, which is spectacular. They'll have blooms constant once they start, if they get a dose of sun every day. And all it takes is an hour or two of morning sun, or they can even put up with an hour or two of afternoon sun. I got them on both sides of my house, on the south, on the east side, and on the west side, and both of them work equally well. And but they need they need shade, but they do better if they get that little dose of sun too. So if you haven't tried them, give them a try. They're spectacular, and since they're on sale, it's a good time to try them.
Yes,
And there are a few begonias over there, but we never think of begonias as really as a nectar source.
Nectar source, yeah.
But these lantanas are, and even our plumbagos, the butterflies, so like they're stopping them, and those blue. Well, all the whites are gone, Mark.
On the plumbagos, yeah.
Yeah, they had a bunch.
And on the Trillium lantana, there's only a few whites left as well. I happen to like the white of both.
Yeah, up front there. Yeah, they're looking good. So, if you want to prepare for the monarchs, get them some nectar plants, and of course, if there's milkweed foliage available, you can expect them to lay some eggs here in the San Antonio and New Braunfels and Floresville area. So if you don't have them now, but you can prepare for the in the fall. But this is the best time for them to lay their eggs here, because they're not subject to that weather challenge that we are faced with in the fall migration.
Wow, that was a lovely segue. You think he's a professional?
I would think
Hey,
so.
Calvin, don't you have some talks coming up?
Yeah, we do, as a matter of fact.
And folks may be able to get some milkweed.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, too, that we'll get some. Usually we get some butterfly weed, and we get some tropical milkweed and some of the other plants. But as Mark indicated, if you are interested in a monarch and milkweed class, we've got 2 scheduled that you'll actually, if you pre-register for them, will actually give you a germinated native milkweed plant, and will give you some seed, some stratified seed, some seed ready to germinate. And I got some. The first gardener from one of the past classes told me that both of his plants he received have germinated. He had showy and also antelope horn.
Okay.
That both 2 native milkweed plants. But anyhow, if you want to attend the class in Floresville, that'll be on the 23rd of April, and it's at 6 p.m. at Classroom 10 at the AgriLife Extension offices there in Floresville. Give them a call if you want to register.
Yes, the number to call for the Floresville class is 830-299-0069, and that is for Thursday, April 23rd at 6 p.m.
Yeah, there was an error in the newspaper.
Yeah, the newspaper says the 25th, but it is the 23rd. That's a Thursday. And then the final big class will be in New Braunfels. That'll be on May 2nd on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. And that's at their gardening center and their headquarters of the AgriLife Extension and Master Gardeners, and the Master Naturalists are the ones that are the partner that are sponsoring this class. And this is the initiating the big all day long class that they have, all these displays and activities. Free class, lots of information. If you've never gone to that gardening center, what is that address there, Mark? Do you have that? Is
the garden center? It's on Resource Drive. Let's see. Do I have it here?
Is it 225?
I think it's 325.
325
Resource Drive.
Out there at
off of 46. When you're driving along on 46, look for the mulch piles and some other official-looking buildings, and then you turn right onto Resource Drive. It'll be clearly marked. And then you just take it a little ways, and then all of a sudden you see all the buildings and all the gardens, what have you.
What is the phone number there to register?
The phone number for the class in New Braunfels, it's 830-620-3440, and that is Saturday, May 2nd at 9:30.
Yeah,
9:30 a.m.
That is the AgriLife Extension office phone number, so that's where you're registering. But again, you will get if you pre-register, you'll get a one germinated plant, a native milkweed, one of 6 different varieties. We mentioned the antelope horn, the showy, the green milkweed, swamp milkweed, or the let's see, the one that's really germinating really readily this spring is the butterfly weed. That's going strong. And let's see, there's one other one. The Zizoti. That is the one that is native to west and south of San Antonio. And also, it is native. There's patches of it in the Blacklands soil strips, like up 35, and so that is an interesting one to look for too, Zizoti, and check it out. Look for the milkweed. See if you got any milkweeds growing in your neighborhood, and so that you can pick the one that'll do best. But all of those natives will generally grow in right around the Central Texas area.
Yes. So yes, those are the two numbers to call to sign up for those classes. And the number to call us is 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
Well, if you're looking, we mentioned briefly the begonias. If you're looking for shade plants, in addition to, how many? 3 different begonia colors at least, and 3 different foliage colors. So you've got quite a combination. These are the begonias. A lot of us call them wax leaf begonias. Get about 8 inches tall and constant bloom. They look kind of fragile, but they are surprisingly drought tolerant, and they kind of let you know when they're ready for moisture again.
I was surprised that Milton would always say, "Well, I broke a leaf off or stem off." I'm like, don't worry about it. It'll come back. It'll fill in. They're much hardier than what they look.
Yeah, for sure. Then the other thing I was noticing over there, it looks like there's at least 6 or 7 different coleus plants, different colors, combination colors, light green, that dark red.
Yeah, and then patterns on the leaves. Yeah. So red and yellow, yellow and red, green, yellow and red. All different kinds of patterns on it. So.
That is something to consider for if you want something a little different in the shade.
And if you're considering it, they are on sale as well.
Oh, my Lord.
It's in a 4-inch pot, regularly $179, on sale 8 for $12. The coleus.
That's the coleus?
That is the coleus.
And did you say the begonias were too?
That I...
Okay.
No, they're not.
Yeah, okay. So the coleus are on sale.
We have the Mexican petunias on sale, regularly $9.99, on sale $8.88.
Now be careful if you're going to go with Mexican petunias.
Oh yeah,
the little ones. We love the Ruellia, dwarf Ruellia. They're great. Yeah, great. I always mention them as an alternative for a shady lawn. They bloom in the sun or shade, and they can grow to about 10 inches tall. But the bigger version, the full-grown version, the full-size version, is a little more aggressive. But it's really spectacular to look at, and it's got those blooms. The pollinators love it. The monarchs would love it if you would have them. But be prepared for them to spread their seed.
Yes, they actually dehiss their seeds, so they pop their seeds out at a distance, and it can take over.
Now I've got a neighbor that grows them right in his rose bed, and he's got a real nice rose bed, and he, as far as I can tell, over the last 4 years, they have not spread. He kind of keeps pruning at them, and they're blooming as we would expect. But the seed has not popped across the road like I would expect it to.
Yeah. Now, is he pulling them or just pruning them?
Just pruning them.
Yeah.
So that'd be a way to maintain that from taking over.
Well, yeah. So even with weeds, we say, please mow your weeds repeatedly, particularly to prevent them from going to seed. So there's a lot of plants we say that is don't let them go to seed. Prune appropriately and consistently.
Well, and if you have a relatively small bed of those Ruellias, the Mexican petunias, and you kept kind of pruning every couple days so that the seed pods wouldn't form, I guess you would just be blessed with the flowers and not with them spreading like that. And they are very attractive.
I know.
Intense colors.
They have a beautiful stem and leaves and flowers, and so it is very attractive. I used to walk the greenways, particularly the mission portion that is down along the missions and the county parks, and I'd see them quite often taking over an area. But it was beautiful to look at. A beautiful stand of all these Mexican petunias. About 18 inches tall, 18 to 24 inches tall. It was just beautiful. However, I knew that they were just a beast waiting to escape.
Alex is looking at us with displeasure here about.
Not at all.
But they are. They are.
They are beautiful. Yeah, put them in a container.
Container? Got it.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that we hadn't mentioned a lot of, you brought it up yesterday, I think, Mark, was those petunias. Got lots of choices. Got hanging baskets. And what...
See all those petunias?
Yeah.
And those hanging baskets? Beautiful.
And then lots of them in containers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're doing well. And if you have grown some petunias, especially some of the hardier ones, they will reseed. And so I've got 2 or 3 different. The wave, I've got a number of the wave spectacular blooms that are they're really showing off, kind of like along with the snapdragons. And then the other one is the one that is what is the president's the Laura Bush?
Yeah.
It is. It reseeds and it is blooming there, and there's 3 or 4 different colors of it, of the versions. So once you get those in your landscape, even if you have a series of containers like I do, they'll find a way to come back.
Now that Laura Bush is good because it does do that. It's unfortunate you don't find it very often. Occasionally will in the nursery, but if you had one, it's great because it does reseed very well.
And then these are lots of different colors. I think there's some of those intense colors of waves over there, and then there's several versions of pink and red. Mm-hmm. So if you're into petunias, there's a lot of them here.
I was also going to say, as I was walking around this morning, if you're into bougainvilleas, we have a large selection here at Millburgers, both in hanging baskets, individual plants, and topiary. So check them out. We have all the colors. We have the traditional hot pink. We have purple. We have light purple, a little different one, and I think we have even kind of a white one down there. Let's see. So come on by if you like bougainvilleas. And bougainvilleas are great. Everyone knows, well, I want to plant them in the ground. No, that's not really how you do bougainvilleas in San Antonio. You put them in a big pot. Now, you can sink that pot into the ground, but you usually put them in a pot because a bougainvillea is like a little stress. They like to be abused, if you will.
They like to dry out between waterings, and they don't like cold weather too much. Right. So that's a part of it. But they'll take some fertilizer, but they need full sun, and they like to be root bound.
Yeah.
So if you're not used to growing them, consider that they are unusual in the way they prosper. So you want You generally leave them in a container longer than you normally would for a plant like that.
Yeah.
And then you water them when they. If anybody gives you heck and say, "Hey, your bougainvillea are not need to be watered," you say, "Well, I'm waiting for the signal from you." Yes, you're right.
And it will tell you.
Yeah, but they are bloom, and they're kind of cyclical bloomers too. They'll go sometimes like 6 weeks with blooms, and then they'll be 3 or 4 weeks, and then they'll rebloom again. So as long as they're in full sun and those kind of conditions, just don't. That's one of those plants that you. Just like the one I talked about this morning, that you don't want to overwater. You don't want the soil to stay damp.
It's a perfect plant for those people who are not real picky about taking care of plants. It's if you forget or maybe even leave town for a couple of weeks, not a problem. That's the plant. Bougainvillea in the right situation is a perfect plant for you.
I was noticing yesterday, I meant to talk about it. They had some really attractive sunflowers in containers. Yeah, there's actually only 2 left out of all that big bunch. But sunflowers are attractive, and this version is very attractive. The blooms are large, but another thing about the sunflowers, if you want to attract the lesser goldfinches and the American goldfinches, and the cardinals love them. A lot of different birds like the seed. You can grow them by seed. The seed packets are available, along with the zinnias here at Milberger's too. Those 2 plants are relatively easy to grow by seed. Lots of choices too. I like the annual sunflower, and you kind of pick and choose where you want to have your sunflower patch, and you got to be. It's another one we talked about, the Ruellia, the Mexican petunia, the full size. You want to keep control of the sunflowers. You want to identify where you want them to grow, and you limit them. I even move the patch around so that I always want them there because I need them for my beloved lesser goldfinches. But you don't want them taking over your whole yard. And I don't understand that the neighbors don't like it if they take over them.
I don't know why. Yeah, there's some places I've seen people have like 10 or 12 in the yard, and it's basically a forest of the large versions of sunflowers.
And I talked about the seed source or the packets here at Milberger's on the rack. You also you can harvest the seed from your neighbors. I made a mistake a few years ago of saying, well, another good place to do it was at the Mitchell Lake. They had a lot of them there, and the director there brought it to my attention that was not an appropriate advice to give me. And I said, well, gosh, they'll never challenge the annual sunflowers, but they said, well, you don't want to encourage people because a lot of the plants in Mitchell Lake are native plants that they're encouraging to spread, and you want to have control over them, and they're important for their wildlife populations. Mm-hmm. So, Calvin, you will not recommend that anymore. So they convinced me, and I agreed.
All right.
But yeah, all you need is really a seed packet or a bundle of a few of the heads of the sunflowers. They're growing right now.
They're growing. And then we're about to hit the top of the hour. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. Well, with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer.
Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Or if you're here at Milberger's, if you have a question, come on up to the patio. We'll do our best to get your question answered. As we're still here waiting for the rain, hopefully it comes sooner rather than never. And I guess staying on the topic of rain like we did at the beginning, with as much moisture as we're getting and hopefully getting more, are there any, I guess, pests or diseases or anything that may come into our yards or gardens due to so much moisture?
No, I think that's not a major factor.
Okay.
One of the questions that we need to cover is we're in a transition between the winter annuals and the summer annuals, and the classic choice you always have to make this time of the year is the snapdragons versus the zinnias. The snapdragons are just spectacular looking right now. They got beat up by the freeze, but as they do every time they have a January freeze, they have this bloom period in the spring, and they're very attractive, and it's hard to consider replacing them with zinnia, like if you have a cut flower guy. So we try to find some space for some zinnias, but enjoy those snapdragons. We should be at least another month. They'll be looking good. They don't like the hot weather, but they can usually deal with May weather pretty well. So that's one of the situations right now. And the calendulas are also recovered from the freeze, and they're looking great with those yellow and golden blooms. They're also a plant. Now, the snapdragons are we don't always think of them as a pollinator plant. I mean, it's not a favorite, but we do get visits by bees and other pollinators. But the calendula, you do. Calendula is looks like a mum. So let them continue blooming as long as they're willing to do it. And they put up with the heat pretty well. The pansies are kind of declining. They don't like the heat. They can deal with the cold, but they don't much like the heat. So, one of the replacement plants for pansies is moss roses, and then also purslane over here. Here at Milberger's, we got a pretty good selection of purslane and moss roses. They're very, very attractive, and they do well in the full sun. And they take small containers, and they kind of adjust to whatever is available for them. So that, if your pansies are kind of at the end of their life, consider replacing them with the moss roses or purslane. Then let's see. Well, and actually the petunias look pretty good in those. And replacing some of the pansies too. And then Mark's favorite, the alyssum, does well in hanging baskets and containers too. Now, Mark, they don't like the heat either, do they? Too much?
The alyssum?
Yeah, alyssum.
No. They've been trying for years to get a heat resistant alyssum, but it's considered a cool season annual. So
far, they're blooming up a storm, and of course they have that wonderful fragrance. And they are also a favorite pollinator plant. So if you've got those and you're wanting to accommodate the monarchs and other butterflies this time of the year, let the alyssum go as long as they'll put up with the hot weather.
They are a definite bee attractor, but I've also seen beetles and butterflies also on their flowers. And it's nice because it comes in a white and a kind of a bluish purple. It's kind of a nice color.
Now, another summer bloomer that we haven't mentioned much, but it's available, are vincas. The Cora vinca is especially one that is desirable. A lot of different colors. That white, and there's a lavender and pink and a red. They're spectacular. They're not the greatest pollinator.
No, definitely not. But very, very hardy. I've seen them growing in the cracks of sidewalks.
Not only do the butterflies pass them up sometimes, the deer pass them up all the time, it seems like. Of course, every time we say that, somebody will give us a call and say, not in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
But that is one that is pretty safe to say is deer-proof. The vincas, you can grow it out where they walk, they're flexible enough. The vincas survive, and the deer don't seem to eat them. So use them full sun. They need to be in full sun. But the vincas are, I didn't know.
Yeah, they are. We do have them out here on the table. We have both the traditional reds and the whites. There are different colors, but that's the ones we have right now.
You know, in the old days, we mostly were dominated by the lavender.
Yeah.
But gosh, you can't beat that combination of the
red and white.
With the white.
Yeah, I think that's the most popular colors and color combination. But I thought you were going to say in the old days we really didn't suggest them until it was like June or July, because
pre-Cora.
Yeah, pre-Cora, they were very sensitive to aerial Phytophthora, and they would literally melt away.
That's right. All you had to do is spray them with your sprinkler on them, and they wouldn't survive. Or if one of these 0.2 of an inch rains would melt them down. And so we kept postponing when we would plant them. So we'd wait till July or August. But now we can plant them. But they do like the hot weather better than the cool weather. So.
Yeah, it's kind of the sign that summer is here or nearly here when we start seeing purslane and moss rose and vinca. It's time, and summer is here.
Summer is here. Also here at Millburgers, roses are here. They have a large selection, including knockouts, modern hybrid teas, floribundas, multiflora, grandifloras, climbers, and many more.
They're on sale too, huh?
They're listed here, but it's not given a price. But I just know that they have a large selection available.
Oh yeah, and there a lot of them are blooming.
Yes.
So you can kind of pick and choose the ones you want. I don't know if you noticed if there's still any of those.
Nah, I haven't walked back into that corner in a couple of weeks, so I don't know.
Yeah, what we're talking about is the hybrid teas are the classic one, and they're the ones that you prune on a regular basis. You have to protect them from pests. But there's a series of other roses, a lot of the old-fashioned roses, and also some of these modern tough roses that pretty invincible, long bloom period, and you don't have to prune them on a regular basis, and you don't have to spray them. They're even pretty drought tolerant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They fit into a xeriscape landscape even, and some of those roses are, including the mutabolus. That's one I often mention because it's so big in a popular wildlife cover plant, and in addition to blooming for about 9 or 10 months out of the year.
Some of the other ones we like, Mrs. Dudley's Cross, Carefree Beauty, Martha Gonzalez. These are all ones we really like.
Yeah, they are great. And Grandma's Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we'll have how could we forget Belinda's Dream?
Oh, yeah.
How could we forget them? I always do. I'm sorry. But
Belinda's Dream is kind of the lead because it is it's in the same category as some of those hybrid teas, or even we describe it quite often as a floral equivalent, fit into a florist shop because it's a superior shape.
And according to some people, it has a scent. Some people can smell
those
it.
Younger people, I don't know.
Other people cannot. It's a great one for that. I'm more of the pinky type one, so I like my Mrs. Dudley's Cross, the Carefree Beauty.
Old
Blush. Old Blush is another good one.
Another one, that Carefree Beauty is got a spectacular. It's got a little more color in it than Belinda's Dream and the rose, but it's not. It's kind of a flat one.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of petals.
Yeah.
But it also produces rose hips, and a pretty big rose hips. And I know some gardeners use them for tea, and other gardeners brag on their attractiveness to the wildlife. The birds will go after them and pick them apart, and of course the squirrels like them, the rose hips. The thing about the rose hips too that always surprises me, that when I think of roses that produce rose hips, I think they have a short bloom period and then they concentrate on rose hips. Well, these Carefree Beauty, they have flowers, again, 8 or 9 months, and they also have rose hips that same period. Mm-hmm. So you get both. You get the combination of them. It's a great one to consider.
Oh, yeah. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We have Bert on the line. Bert, good to hear from you.
Greetings and good Sunday to you all.
Yes.
My question today is, like you were talking insects, and I wanted to ask, we called them stink bugs when I was a kid, but I believe they're a true insect if they only have one. Are they a beetle because they fly?
No, they're true. They are a true bug. They're either Hymenoptera or Hymenoptera. I can't ever remember which category they're in, but they're not Coleoptera, which is the beetle.
Okay, so which one is he talking?
Stink bug.
Regular. A lot of different stink bugs, though.
But they're classified as a, quote, air quote, true bug.
And they're a pain, boy.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're everywhere. Just like I noticed with all the rain, too. All the pill bugs, or how is that the correct name for them? Sow bugs? Did I get that? I'm trying to remember. They're little black.
Any name, roly-polies is another one. Any name will do for those.
All right. And the one thing I wanted to ask you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bert, they are tough to control, the stink bugs. And, a lot of gardeners would prefer using organic pesticides. But, gosh, what I have the best luck with is malathion. That's the only one that works. But then we had Trace, the former manager here at Milberger's. He used to use a portable little vacuum cleaner to collect them. The thing about them, they're they're big and they're mobile. And sometimes if you got a lot of them in your rose bed, as you move through, they're just flying ahead of you, or go around you. It's very frustrating sometimes.
Yep, I'm checking. And I got two questions on black ants because I noticed I got the little ones. I called ever since I think they were called, the proper name is the pharaoh ant. I call them crazy ants. They're the ones the little tiny black ants.
Those are actually two different ones. So we got pharaoh ants, or we knew them a long time ago as sugar ants, and then we have crazy ants. And crazy ants are from Brazil as well as the fire ants. So two different ones, but they're both they tend to be dark brown to black.
They're kind of crazy ants will bite you too.
Yes, they will.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because that's what happened. I was in the yard last week working, and I was just like working, not paying attention to the ants on the ground, especially the black ones. Since I'm from Louisiana, and we have the fire ants, and they will hurt you badly. But these black ants just all crawled up on both legs, and they
coordinate their biting too. It always seems like to me they wait until everybody's ready. All the crazy ants or black ants are ready, and then they say, "Go ahead, bite everybody." So 26 bites on you.
Yes, they did that. They went, like I said, they crawled up my ankles and about to the bottom of the calf, and then they just went, "Let's bite Bert right now."
What's interesting and what a lot of the experts have debated is the antagonism between the two, the black ants and the fire ants. And sometimes a fire ant wins, and sometimes a black ant wins.
Is it an individual battle or
individual battle. I'm talking about colony. I should have said that. So the one colony versus the other. So it's very interesting what the black ant, the crazy ant, what they do is they kind of overwhelmed by numbers. And so I'm not surprised that what you're talking about, exactly what they do is they get all over before they initiate their attack. Fire ants do the same thing, but I think there's less of them when they attack.
Well, see, that's what I wanted to ask the question, because that's what you said about the true bug. We were talking. I get lost track in the word pheromone ephemerone. Is that chemical signature, I believe, that they use to just let's bite all at once now.
When I think of pheromones, I always think of lovesick beetles and caterpillars. That's the pheromone that they put out to attract each other.
And you were talking. I wanted to give y'all an update. I just took when I talked about the Kamada tomatoes. Those are very sweet. It was a $5 experiment. I'm not going to do again because they're very sweet. They look like a plum tomato. They're between the size of a golf ball and a tennis ball.
Yeah,
and they are very sweet.
I got a container in my refrigerator right now, and that's how I eat them, one at a time. I cut them up, oil and salt. Delicious.
I'm telling you, it's like, even if you just take, I'll just say one thing with this before I get off the line and let somebody else call in. I take, when I'm making some chicken parmesan or with the rigatoni, I'll put one right in the middle of it while I'm doing a slow bake. And try that, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, they are. They're very delicious. And they sell them in a package, and they're selling the vine. So
and that's what I did.
So you mean you're buying these instead of growing them?
I bought one package, and what I did is I just drop them. Well, that's a question. Is an indeterminate tomato usually a ground vine, and a determinate tomato a bush tomato?
Well, that's probably a pretty good description, because we describe the determinate as one that grows to a certain height and then concentrates on fruit production, whereas the indeterminate just keeps kind of growing as long as the weather is appropriate for it, and it does much less disciplined shape for sure.
Because I was just wondering if I should just get me a bale of straw and put it on the ground and let the indeterminate tomatoes grow like they do with strawberries.
I don't understand. What?
No, I kind of know what you're talking about, but usually what we do with indeterminates is more like we're putting them on a scaffold, like on a container. What do we call it?
Well, in some greenhouses, they go up.
They go up and up. What is that thing tomato cage? So they're more appropriate with a tomato cage, or even taller, like commercial operations in various parts of the country. In the Netherlands, they will put them on a huge rack.
I believe I've seen that on some of the science videos that I've watched when they're trying to do everything in greenhouses now, and some, like I know, like you say, in the Netherlands, because it gets very nice and cool up there. Excuse me. But no, I just was wondering. I'll try it. Like I said, I did like so far. I've had very good results with my avocados growing in the trees, but I just take and drop them off. I go out in the yard and place a spot, and I just go, okay, this is where it was attached to the vine, and I'm just going to drop it, just like it fell off the vine. And
that sounds like the way to do it.
Absolutely. All right, Bert. Thank you for
all
calling
right,
in.
y'all.
Thanks, Bert. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye now.
All right, then. 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We have James on the line. James, thank you for calling in. How's it going?
Sure, good. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm driving, so I'm on my hands free.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, great, perfect. First off, tomato report on my pole dig.
Oh.
I was going to call in and said my cluster of tomatoes were about baseball size, and then I walked closer. The one tucked underneath is much larger than baseball size, albeit they're all still green. But Calvin was asking a while back about the shape of the fruit, and we've had some reports. Even though they do appear or are, in fact, globe shaped, I noticed the larger one definitely has a flattened bottom, if that means anything. So it's not a perfect globe.
Yeah. How tall are they, James?
Not tall. It is not tall. It is a squatty tomato plant. I have a tall cage on it, but it's not growing. I guess that would be vertical, very much at all.
So definitely
which is peculiar. Yes, most definitely. At least that's what I would think. But I did read somewhere. I don't remember what gardening site it was. It was like a seed supply or whatnot. And one of them did say it was kind of a short plant. I don't know if that's what y'all's take is on it or not, or your experience. Is your plant tall or short?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at some the remnants of the plants we have here, and some of them have fruit on, and they have a relatively short look, even though they're in large containers.
Yeah. Okay. My second question, if I could, because of my butterfly vine, the three that I planted late spring last year, since I planted them late, they, of course, bloomed late. So since they had a whole year now in the ground, and the middle one is darn near 9 feet tall already, finding. When will it bloom normally, since this will be its first normal year in the ground, per se? When do I expect the first blooms on that thing?
I just turned around to look at the one we've got here at the Certified Butterfly Garden at Milberger's. I'm thinking May 1st or May, depending on the weather, maybe May 10th or so. But if there's anybody out there that's had a longer history with them and has a different opinion, I'd appreciate it. They can give us a call.
Yeah, I think Beth has quite a bit of background on this plant, if I remember correct. Hopefully she's listening. Okay, I was just curious what to expect since they've been in the ground for a year.
How thick is the foliage?
That should not vary. Not vary. So I don't know if that's normal or not.
So it's kind of really reaching out and growing, huh?
Yeah, they're shooting up. They're growing tall. But they're a little bushier than they were last year, so that tells me they're more established. But I'm glad you brought that up, Calvin, because I don't know what to expect. Are they supposed to be, really thick? I'm hoping, because I planted them for a sun screen, if you will, on the west end of my patio. And
how much did you fertilize them? I can't remember.
Well, I was going to do about a half a cup of 1959, but Mark said no. I only put, I think, to his recommendation, I think it was just a tablespoon. I might have even put a tablespoon and a half on each one.
Okay, good.
When we've got that first round
I think that's better. Because they should. And then when I suspect when the blooms start that you'll get filling in of foliage rather than any growth upwards too. So.
I'm hoping so, because that was my main purpose. Other than the showiness, those seed pods are really nice. I got 2 or 3 around the house for decorations from last year, and those look really neat. The little brown butterflies. Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm hoping it fills in that trellis. That was my main goal. So we'll just see what happens. My third thing is, I kind of not misspoke, but y'all were asking about rain gauges. I guess a couple of weeks ago, our Bert was called in and wanted to know how large of a saucer he would need to get an accurate measurement.
Right.
And I called in and said a 4-inch, and because the rain gauge I got from the airport manager in Pleasanton is called the Stratus, and it's well known for accuracy, and that's what they use. But what I learned after I called, the National Weather Service uses, and you probably know this, Mark and it's uses what's called the standard rain gauge, which is an 8-inch radius.
All right, okay.
But they do there you go. But they do recognize, it said, the Weather Service and NOAA do recognize the 4-inch radius as being statistically accurate. Anyway, for whatever that's worth, I just wanted to. So if Bert wants to go 4 inches or larger for accuracy, he should be fine.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank
you. Yeah, I was even large. I didn't know if it was 12 inches or not, but 8 sounds correct.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 8 inches radius, and it measures up to 20 inches of rain. That's the National Weather Service standard rain gauge, which I didn't know when I called in, so I learned a little more. Okay, all right, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right,
thanks, James.
Thank you, James. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867.
Ooh, look at these
we got another
lines.
We got another caller. It's not Deja Vu.
Okay.
It's the other James this time on the line.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Hello, James.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great.
How much rain did you get out your way?
What's less than a trace?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was going to have a funny response, but you got me. I got nothing.
Yeah, so did we.
It might rain one of these days. You never know.
Yeah.
I called with a question about, I think you call it Queen's Crown or Coral Vine.
Yes, sir.
I'm starting some from seed and trays to set out, but is that something that the deer are going to eat up as soon as it gets going, or do we know?
Well, it certainly isn't in my neighborhood. I've got a lot of it. They may eat at it, but they don't. I have it growing on the fences where the deer can reach, and they don't seem to control it. I mean, it's aggressive enough grower that it keeps expanding. It does look like, though, I mean, if it's inside the yard, it covers a lot more territory and spreads faster than on the edge. So I suspect they're eating at it rather than. But it's something that it's not something they like enough that they eat it all, and it's not something that they eat fast enough that they eliminate it from the fence that they're eating on. So.
And how are you watering it? Once a day, once a week, never?
I never water it.
Do you think it needs to be on a schedule when it's starting up small? A little bit more water.
Well, if he was transplanting or seeds, then I would I'd water it twice a week, depending on how much soil you've got, James.
But once it's established, Calvin's right. You never water it.
It's
but once a month maybe.
And it's a food source for the hummingbirds or the butterflies.
All of them, and mostly
all of them.
Yeah. But the thing too, the bees and wasps really love it. So there's a lot of competition between all of those pollinators. And if you're into the supporting the honeybees, they really swarm in on it. But they're not. I mean, I've got it right close to my back door, and as much activity as on it. I've never, as far as I know, nobody's ever gotten stung. But
yeah, we don't have very many bees anymore out here. They started flying the airplanes with the pesticides, and I don't see bees anymore around here. Maybe one or two.
Well, go ahead and plant that queen's wreath.
Yeah. If there are bees, the coral vine queen's crown will attract them.
I got some Celebrity Plus tomatoes. They're about as big as tennis balls. The big green tomatoes on some of the plants, but most of them are just starting to flower now.
How tall are the plants?
About 3 foot or so.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what we would expect from a semi-determinate.
I asked David Rodriguez, what's the plus stand for and the Celebrity Plus? And he goes, I don't know. If you find out, can you tell me? So, I don't know what it is.
Wilt.
It's what?
It's called tomato spotted wilt. It's a disease that some tomatoes get.
All right. Well, yeah, neither one of us knew, and I was hoping he would, so I will have to tell him the next time I see him that it's...
and it also has resistance to cracking It doesn't crack as bad as the regular celebrity.
Well, that's a plus. That's a plus in my that I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a big bushy plant, man. If you grow it right, it'll get big. It's a monster. So I really like them. They produce really well. My provider, green beans, I planted an 80-foot row and got them nursed through all the cold weather. And they're starting to bloom, those green beans, those providers are starting to bloom. So it's going to be happy days around here. It looked like a bean picking time, probably another couple of weeks.
Well, I delayed. Even though I told everybody to start early, I delayed in putting mine down.
You told me to start early.
Yes, I did. Good, yeah. But I didn't do as I say, not as I do. So I have my traditional Blue Lake, and they're just starting to come up. Well, they're all about 3 inches tall. So I still got a ways to go.
Well, I took your recommendations, and we're starting to get those providers to bloom. They're about 16, 18 inches tall, man. That's a pretty good looking row of beans.
Well, that sounds great. I'm glad yours are doing that.
What else? Have you got any okra or cucumbers or tatuma squash?
The cucumbers are on netting in a shade house. They're called Sweet Success.
Yeah.
They're really good cucumbers, and I
they're
don't
producing
plant that squash anymore, but a friend of mine does, tatumas. So I can't give you a report on that.
Yeah.
But
I had some very old tatuma seed, and it was not successful in germinating. So I'll have to. But it's relatively easy to find on the internet. Mm-hmm. And then we quite often we have gardeners that if they grow it, they save some seed too. So, but
when it comes to those tomatoes that the man was asking about, the trellis, I've grown indeterminates on strings. You can grow one head on one string, or you can make a V with 2 strings, and tie them up high. And then you can grow a plant with 2 heads. Mm-hmm. And you have to prune indeterminates to keep them in line. But a string will work if you just want to grow one head. And that, I think you guys call it a leader.
Yeah.
The leader, you can prune it to 1 leader and 1 string, or you can prune it to 2 leaders and 2 strings. I've done that before, and it works on the indeterminates.
Sounds good.
Because I heard you talking about it to that young man that called in earlier.
Yeah, you need on an indeterminate. You need some kind of support system. Mm-hmm. Whether you use a cage or trellis or, like you suggest, strings. That's kind of old-fashioned. Yay, old-fashioned.
Yeah, it works, man.
Yes.
Or the trellis, you can buy that nylon 72-inch tall trellis. It's got 5-inch squares on it from Johnny's. It's Johnny's seed. It's really inexpensive, and that's what we use to trellis the cucumbers. Is a nylon netting, and it's going on, I think, 8 years. So it's been there for a while.
All right then.
And
thank you, James, for calling in.
Thanks, James.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
210-308-8867. We're going to take one last break for today. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. I got about 10 more minutes in our show for today, so give us a call, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
And if you want more information about those butterfly and milkweed classes, you can go a couple places. You can go to the Express News. My Saturday article has the information in there. And also, I think the Millburgers, website has information on there on where the number to call and what time the classes are available. But they're coming up. So April 23rd at 6 p.m. in Floresville, and then on Saturday, May 2nd at 9:30 a.m. in New Braunfels. And attendees to the class, if they pre-register, will get a free germinated native milkweed plant, and also they'll get some seeds, stratified seeds. And I get that question quite often about what does that mean, stratified seeds, especially when you're talking about a plant that's traditionally a weed. The wildflowers and weeds, even part of their success or their survival, quite often is if they don't want to all germinate at one time. They have to be available for conditions to germinate when conditions are right. So, if there's 100 seeds, 10 of the seeds might germinate once the next 10 years. And so when we stratify them, what we're trying to do is get all the seeds to germinate at once so that we can get them into the landscape so that they're available to the monarchs. Because, like this spring, we expect the monarchs to be here right now. And hopefully we've got a lot of gardeners out there that have the milkweed that successfully grew, and they'll be available to the monarch parents when they come through. And if not, we'll keep working on it. And with that the process of using the seed this year is something. I mean, handing out the seed is something that's a little different, especially stratified seed. But the good news is, as I mentioned before, we had at least one gardener from the second class said that his seed, both of his, he had two varieties, and both of them germinated. So he's kind of excited. He's got the antelope horn, and also I believe it was the showy that also germinated. So that'll be interesting. We should start getting reports from Class 1 and Class 2, and then hopefully the Class 3 and Class 4 will also give us some plants in the future.
Very exciting. And Mark,
I was going to say, the work goes on. It's a never-ending story.
Absolutely. And Mark, you have any? I know you said one of your videos has come out so far for this month.
So for the month of April, we have both videos out right now.
Okay.
Go to the Gardening Volunteers South Texas website, and that's gardeningvolunteers.org. And you go to the Go Gardening tab, and you click on those, and we have two great videos, one with Lee Marlowe and one with Drake White, and we're talking about pollinator plants and different types and what to look for, how to take care of them, which ones to use. And Drake had a lovely comment. She said, these are the ones for the gardeners who've never gardened before. And one of them was Greg's Mistflower and Sexmania, and I believe one of the salvias. So, excellent plants for the beginning gardener. And then for this next month, month of May, we have one at the zoo and one at one of the NISD gardens. So the student gardens.
Now, Mark, we've got a wonderful choice of shade trees here at Millburgers. Folks can still plant them, even though we're kind of out of the prime area.
Well, theoretically, we're still in prime planting time. We always say November 1st to May 1st, so we're still there. And then Alex found that the CPS Energy website is still up and running. So that's the Green Shade Tree Rebate Program. And what you do is you go down to that site and download the application, purchase your trees, save your receipts, and send them in to CPS Energy for a $50 credit for each tree, up to 5.
And you actually can get, if you, what do they allow, number 3 containers or number?
Yes. On the request of the industry, they went from 5 to 3s. So you can get plants, trees that are grown in a smaller container, a smaller hole, which is always appropriate, or easier on the back, I should probably say. And they plant it. They took away the cardinal direction restrictions, or at least I didn't find them on the website. So you can plant them east, west, north, and south.
And it not only includes the recommended shade trees, but citrus is listed there. And
citrus and some other native species that have fruit. So kind of going for that both bird and possibly butterfly.
Mexican plums.
Yeah.
And aqua, of course.
Yes, that's a great one.
Brazil.
Yep.
So lots of choices.
So we still have a couple of weeks. Go to that website. Look at the permitted plants, permitted tree species. We have many of those now, although not all. We have many of them here at Millburgers.
And boy, they look good. The leaves are lush. And
so look at that and get a tree. $50 off, or $50 credit on your energy bill.
Yes, and that's $50, or that's 5 per address.
Per address, not per person, per address.
That's right.
It's a lifetime.
All right. Well, we're hoping rain comes later on this afternoon, this evening, and hopefully throughout this week.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be here earlier.
Well, my phone said 12 o'clock on to 4.
So we're halfway through that, so that's...
Yeah.
And then mine, it said 3 o'clock. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully yours is correct.
Yeah. Well, we do this every time. We pick and choose the one that's most optimistic.
Oh man.
Now, last night, that it looked to me like I didn't check the rain gauge, but it looked to me like the rain was pretty substantial last night. At least in my neighborhood.
Oh, well, I think it was spotty. So we had some puddles in our backyard, but not a whole lot. And Alex said he had hardly any. Well, you didn't know it. You didn't know whether it rained or not.
That's true, yes.
And don't forget, you got to watch that. Even when it rains, you got to watch your containers because they don't. A lot of the water doesn't penetrate.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for listening this weekend to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar, Dr. Calvin Finch, and Mark Peterson. We will see you next Saturday.